up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we gonna be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, yeah. Up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, yeah. Make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey. Up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, yeah.
Good morning. I am Edward Fillion. I'm here to welcome you, and I'm just enjoying this music so much. Although it's November when the concert is coming, I sure am already looking forward to the concert that Fran and his brothers are going to bring to us. We'll give you more information about that soon. And so lovely to see you again, Sophia. Welcome home, and welcome home, everyone. This week, our journey through Taoism turns to a very well-known topic, yin and yang, represented by that character, which is somewhere up there on the 3 o'clock position over there, the yin and yang. Now, these two characters actually first appeared together in Chinese writing in something called the Book of Songs, almost like poetry, an anthology of poetry, and it predates the Tao Te Ching by centuries. Now, in those early lines of poetry, the yin and yang, they referred to the shady and the sunny side of the same hill. One hill, one sun, different expressions. So long before it became this beautiful philosophy, it was a poetic observation about light and shadow, opposites on the same hillside. Learn something new every day. Now, whether you're in the room or watching online, you are welcome here, where we honor life through its expression of inclusion, diversity, and equity. Won't you please join me in reading our mission? The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. And we work toward this vision and this mission through our 5 core spiritual practices. Won't you please read those with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. We use flowers in our center to send messages of love and acknowledgement to each other. And it is with some sadness today that I read the dedication of our flowers. They're offered in loving memory of Juanita Ortegon, who passed away on last Sunday, June 7th. Now, Juanita served this community with a fervor and a passion and a faithfulness as a hospitality volunteer, but also, and I don't think everybody knows this, as a trustee for many years. And her caring presence touched many of us with a cup of coffee and a warm smile that she served to us Sunday after Sunday. So appropriately, we're going to have a time of remembrance for her on Sunday, June 28th, after the second service, with an hospitality time together. We will have cookie and teas and share the memory of how she helped us feel welcome at our community. And we'll remind you of that over the next week so that you can attend. Now I would like to extend a warm welcome to our first-time visitors. If you are visiting with us in the room, won't you please stand as you are able or raise your hand, because our ushers would like to bring a flower to you in a welcome packet as a token of our gratitude that you spent time with us today. And if you are online watching us for the first time, won't you please drop a note in the comments so that we know that you're watching us, or you can reach out to us at info@cslsr.org. I know that somewhere between the music and the meditation and the prayer and Reverend Russ's message, you will find exactly what you need for the next step of your spiritual journey. You are welcome here. And so please enjoy with me some music before our quiet time of contemplation and prayer. Welcome.
Spirit, I am grateful, loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindness is to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful, loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing, and I give thanks for the overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God, for one good day. Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table. Loving kindness is to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. And I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God. Oh, I thank you, God, for one good day.
One, just one, all-inclusive, everywhere present, all of the time, right here. In this very breath, in this very moment, one. Nothing is outside of it, and it is as intimate as our breath and heartbeat, not distant. Available, loving, the Creator offering its gifts of peace and intelligence, of harmony, mercy and compassion. And I acknowledge the beauty in this essence, given so freely to all of its creation, including me and everyone in this room, online and beyond and beyond. And I speak my word proclaiming that it is good, that harmony and love and balance do exist right alongside everything else that appears not to be that. I give thanks for the resiliency of the human spirit. I give thanks for this center, for the message, for the music, for the hospitality team, for the loving kindness that exudes from one to another, paying it forward as it goes. And I bless this time together to continue to open hearts and know and hear and see the face of God in others. I am so pleased to know this greater truth right alongside anything else. This love, this balance, this enoughness right here in this room right now. And I lift up this prayer and give it to God, knowing it is already complete. And together we say, and so it is. Good morning. I am Tamira Hume, a practitioner here at our wonderful, wonderful center. I invite you to read the affirmation with me. I flow with life and trust the wisdom and of balance and simplicity. Thank you.
Is always present, nowhere to be. And where you are, the power of now flows oh so gracefully. The power of now is always perfect, nothing to be. Who you are, the power of now flows oh so easily. Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to control. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. Is ever flowing, connecting us all to the one. The power of now unfolds so peacefully. We're willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. The power of now. The power of now. The power of now.
Sophia Candler, everyone. Good morning. So summer solstice is just around the corner, and summertime, it sparks this hint of nostalgia in me. And do you remember when you were a kid and summer break was just on the horizon? Well, I do. And a whole summer of fun and freedom was just right there before me. And every single day leading up to that last day of school, well, it felt like this big dose of anticipation. And for me, those last days of school, they were filled with all kinds of fun events. We would run potato sack races, hopping like frantic jackrabbits toward the finish line, and we would play kickball. Do you remember kickball? And, well, I remember the sound that the ball would make when you kicked it, and I remember the rubbery smell every time I would catch it. And then there was tug of war. And we'd line an equal number of kids on each side of this long rope, and whoever pulled the most would win. And when my side pulled, the other side moved. And when their side pulled, my side moved. Back and forth, grunting and yelling with excitement, we would tug that rope in the summer heat until one side got tired and pulled over the line, and then the other side was jumping for joy because they won. And that rope, it connected us, and we were all affected by how much the other side was trying to win. And those games of tug of war, well, they took a lot of effort, and that made an impression on me, because my hands would get chafed and burned on that rope, and afterwards my legs would be all wobbly. And now that I think back, I'm not quite sure why we thought this was so fun. And it reminds me a lot of how life can be. You know, sometimes it can feel like I have to tug against the opposites in my life. And when I do, I notice that the opposites can tug back. You know, I tug against where I think that my finances should be. I tug against my relationships. I tug against the news and politics. And boy, do they tug back. It seems like there's always these sets of opposites that look like they are in a tug of war with each other. And that's what we're talking about today. Because this month we're studying Taoism, as Dr. Edward mentioned, the Chinese philosophy of life that teaches balance and harmony are the inherent nature of our reality. And last week you heard Dr. Edward tell the story of the farmer whose answer to all the good and bad fortune in his life was maybe good, maybe bad, who's to say? Well, there can be a tension between those two things, the things that seem like they're good and they're bad, and they can seem like they're opposites. But there's a story in Taoism that I want to share that sheds a little light on this idea. One day, a master carpenter named Shi visits a village with his apprentice. And as they enter the village, they see at the center of it this massive oak tree. Its branches spread far and wide into the air, its trunk the thickness of many men. And the villagers, they're hanging out around this oak tree and they're admiring it. It's beautiful. And the carpenter's apprentice, well, he also looks upon this tree wide-eyed with awe. But the master carpenter, well, he simply walks past the oak tree, paying it no attention as though it doesn't even exist. Now, this surprised his apprentice, and so the apprentice goes running up behind him and incredulous, saying, "Never in my life have I seen so much timber. Why are you completely ignoring it?" And the carpenter stops in his tracks and he replies, That oak is old and knotted. If I build a boat with it, the boat will sink. If I make a coffin, it'll rot fast. If I make a tool with it, it'll splinter. If I make a door, it'll be sticky with sap. That tree is worthless lumber. It's good for nothing. Well, later that evening, in his dreams, the carpenter is visited by that old oak tree. And the tree asks him, just a little bit incensed, "To what trees do you compare me? The orange and apple tree whose fruits are picked the moment that they ripen? The cedar whose branches are ripped apart and trunk turned into lumber?" And the tree goes on to say, "I am at the end of my life, and I have lived as long as I have precisely because I try to be useless. If I had ever been useful, would I have grown this large and attracted the love and admiration of the village? My uselessness is my greatest use." Well, this story, it teaches that what is good or bad is often in the eye of the beholder. And that's where life gets complicated. Because we live in a world where we're often presented with things that we're told are either good or bad. And what makes this even more challenging is that oftentimes things are good or bad. And speaking of just the bad things, there's no question in my mind that war is bad. Oppression is bad. Closed-mindedness is bad. Allowing homelessness and poverty to continue is bad. And I believe that these things are bad because they go against the harmony that Taoism presents as our natural state. War and oppression and poverty and homelessness happen because things are out of balance. Have you ever tried to give somebody a gift, but they absolutely would not take it? The giving doesn't work if someone's not willing to receive. And so both the giver and the receiver have to be in harmony for there to be flow. And Taoism's all about that flow, and its invitation is to find this harmony between yin and yang. The Chinese terms to describe passive and active, receptivity and givingness. And the circle symbol of the yin-yang, it shows how they're always intertwined, interdependent. One of them cannot be without the other. And that models life. Just like that hill that Dr. Edward mentioned, the light side and the dark. Plants can't survive without some darkness so that they don't burn up in the constant light. Life itself can't live with all the ways that those core building blocks are rearranged and reshuffled through the process of death. And so that tension, it comes from finding balance and recognizing that what I think are good or bad, well, they're not always absolute. In fact, there's a whole culture around the world made up of people who choose to live a nomadic life. And for them, being homeless is the way that they want to live. And so it gives them much joy and much freedom. That is the Tao for them. That is the way. Heck, I happen to love camping, and if that's not the definition of choosing homelessness, I don't know what is. And for some spiritual paths, living an aesthetic life that's rooted in a vow of poverty, well, that brings them great peace and fulfillment. Now, I want to make a distinction here, because in the examples that I just gave you, those ways of life are a choice. Many in our country are unsheltered and hungry and without means, not by any choice of their own, but because of the circumstances that are outside of their control. I'm really touched by the work that so many of the nonprofits here in Sonoma County do to ease suffering by offering food and shelter and medical care. But that these problems still exist despite all of this good work, it seems to me like a symptom of a greater imbalance. And this is where it feels like we've fallen out of harmony. Because for some to have so little by no choice of their own implies that others have far too much. The yin is not balanced with yang, and so the flow stops. Now, maybe you've encountered this tug of war in your life. And when I feel like I've lost control of my life, when things feel out of balance, it can be hard to believe that deeper truth of harmony that Taoism shares. When I see others struggle because they're the victims of the whims of those with power, often the whims of a single person with power, the tug that I feel on my heart, well, it can make me want to lash out. It can make me want to fight. Witnessing the wars in Ukraine and Palestine and Iran from a distance here in the United States over the past few years, it takes its toll on me. Maybe you've had that experience too. It takes its toll on me because it's the regular people in those countries, people who are just trying to live their lives, who are most harmed by war. And so it's caused me to really think about, how can I stand up to oppression whenever I witness it? But here's the thing. If my rope is being tugged on, tugging back won't necessarily make things better. Because I'm still stuck in the tugging. And that's what Taoism suggests is the problem. This desire to control the flow of life. Meeting one form of control with another, that's not going to reduce the disharmony that I'm experiencing. And that control, all of it, it takes quite a lot of effort. Now, I know how this sounds. If something really is wrong, shouldn't I push back? Well, that's what I've believed for most of my life. But Taoism invites me to think about it just a little deeper. Water doesn't resist the rock. And yet water is what carves the canyon. Choosing not to tug on the rope of opposites isn't giving up the fight, because sometimes letting go is the most active and effective resistance that there is. There have been many times in my life when I've had somebody just completely blow up at me, and you know what? I would blow up right back at them. And the only thing that was accomplished was that we just made things worse. I remember one time I had a problem in my car, and I was trying to get some warranty work on it, and it was something that had already been fixed under warranty before. And I was in this argument with the technician across from me who was trying to tell me that this actually isn't covered under warranty. And back and forth we went, and more angry and more angry and more angry, until this point where I don't even know what I was doing. I was so incensed. I wasn't making things better. And so I learned in that moment that sometimes I've got to pause and I've got to let go so that I can tap back into peace before I take that next step forward. In the science of mind, our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, teaches that we live in a reciprocal universe. And what that means is that reality tends to reflect back to us that which we put into it. So if I put more violence into the world through my words and actions, then I'm not reducing violence, I'm increasing it. But if I put more curiosity, more love, and this desire for mutual understanding into the world, well, that is also something that reality responds to. Now, that doesn't mean that I ignore systemic oppression and injustice when I witness them. What it does mean is that when I witness them, I can change how I choose to respond. I don't have to respond with violence. And we saw that kind of a shift in the success of the civil rights movement in the United States, the Indian nonviolent protests against British rule, in the success of nonviolent unification efforts by leaders like Archbishop Desmond Tutu in South Africa after apartheid. In all of these cases, there was a singular goal. It was peace. And that peace included mutual understanding and mutual acceptance of our shared humanity. And so the leaders of these movements, they began with peace. They made decisions rooted and informed by peace, and they hung on to peace even when confronted by terrible violence. They found a way to step back from the tug of war so that a more harmonious path could be charted. So how can we do this? Well, by flowing like water. And that's a suggestion that I found great comfort in from Taoism, because it often suggests that I flow and take the shape of whatever is containing me in the moment, just like water, because water does this effortlessly. That doesn't mean inaction, because you know what? A container that is continuously filled with water is eventually going to overflow, much like enough people collectively choosing peace over violence are going to reach a tipping point and prevail over any oppression. What it does mean is trusting in a deeper way of being, trusting in what Ernest Holmes would call our friend within, that eternal spirit that is at the center of our being and that is always available to guide us no matter the obstacles that we encounter. You know, I recently watched a video about this city that's being built in the kingdom of Bhutan. And I know some of you have traveled to Bhutan, and you may know that they have this gross national happiness index where they chart the overall happiness of the people in their country. But recently, they've encountered a challenge. You see, a lot of Bhutanese young adults are moving out of the country because they're finding more attractive job prospects elsewhere. So Bhutan knows this is going on, and they're doing something rather interesting. They're becoming like water and adapting to this new container that we might call the modern world. And to do that, they're building the Gellifu Mindfulness City. Isn't that a great name? I'd like to live in a city that's got the word mindfulness in it. Now, when I think of mindful cities, when I think of modern cities, I think of New York or Chicago or Dubai, filled with all these flashing lights and skyscrapers and noise everywhere. But Gellifu Mindfulness City, it's not being built with skyscrapers at all. And while it seeks to bring modern technology and opportunities to Bhutan, it's doing this by being built in harmony with all the land that it sits upon. And it's being done using sustainable methods to integrate it with the landscape. For example, it's in a valley that's filled with rivers that are often subject to flooding during the monsoon season. And so what the city planners are doing is really clever. They're putting these rice paddies all around the city to strategically absorb all of that rain. They're literally turning the city into a sponge. And speaking of water, they're also powering their city by this hydroelectric dam, and this is my favorite part, that is itself a Buddhist temple. It overlooks the city, and it's constructed with traditional Bhutanese architecture, the same that you would find throughout the country. And that city, it's being connected by bridges to traverse all of those rivers because they're not going to dam up those rivers just to make space. And those bridges, well, they're designed to help people to come together to learn about one another just by doing their daily commute. It seems to me that the modern world was tugging at Bhutan. And rather than tugging back, their people found a way to go with the flow. And they also did it while preserving their national identity and culture as a country focused on peace and harmony and happiness. Now, I've had my own opportunities to learn what it's like to be water. And what helps me be flexible and spontaneous is tuning into the spirit within me. And I do this through spiritual mind treatment, like you heard from Tamira this morning. I do this through meditation. And I do these practices because I know that spirit knows how to flow like water. It knows how to adapt to the tugging in my life. And it's something that spirit does effortlessly, just like water. Water doesn't have to try to be water, it just is. So here's a small example of what this can look like. I recently received, for the very first time in my life, an official jury duty summons. How I avoided it for 44 years, I don't know, but they caught up to me. And you know what, at first I wasn't quite sure what to do, and I felt like life had handed me this massive inconvenience. And so I was angry and I was frustrated, and well, it was also scheduled during a week when I knew I had some really important work to do. So in my mind, I'm just going through all of this. How can I get out of jury duty? How can I do this? Oh boy, how do I do this? Over and over and over. And after a day of stressful ruminating, I paused. I took a breath. And I allowed all those parts of my mind that were trying to control the situation to settle down. Then I did something radical. I logged into the jury duty website. You know what I found there? You can do a one-time deferment of your jury duty to another time in the near future. Well, and I did that, and it took me all of 30 seconds. My initial instinct was to fight against this inconvenience, to let it tug on me and to try to tug on it. But the practice of tuning into spirit so that I can accept flow instead gave me a way to adapt to this new container that I found myself in. And because of that, well, I feel a lot less stressed. It's important for me to know that I don't ever, and probably will never, stop noticing the tug of opposites. I think that's always going to be part of what it's like to be human. What I can do now instead is see how I can find ways to go with the flow rather than resisting. And that way, I don't feel the inner tug of believing I'm doing things wrong if I have a human moment and I feel frustrated or angry. Please don't suppress that frustration, that anger when you feel it. It doesn't do any good. Because it leads to that inner tug of self-judgment, and that can create its own disharmony. And so what I appreciate about Taoism's approach to opposites is how it reminds me that things that sometimes seem like they're at odds, well, they're never separate from one another. They're always interconnected. It's just like those games of tug of war. I remember something else about those games. I remember what happens in the game if one side starts tugging and the other side decides to let go. The side that's tugging, well, they tend to fall down. But the side that lets go, they get to stand tall. So my invitation for us today is to see just how tall we can stand when we let go and go with the flow. And so let us take this moment into prayer. How good it is to know that the flow of life, this thing called spirit, is ever present, ever moving, ever changing, ever becoming more of itself. It is infinite, it is expansive, it is abundant, and it is here now, living as me, living as each and every one of us. This infinite flow, this infinite spirit, this infinite life, it expresses through all that I say, all that I am, all that I do, and that is true for us all. We are that inherent harmony, that wholeness, that peace. And it is those qualities that I know are expressing themselves as us and through us right here and now. I tune in to that peace within me, that clarity within me, that wisdom within me that knows exactly how to let go of the tug of war of life whenever it is causing me challenges, whenever it is bringing me obstacles. I know that that spirit within knows how to adapt and how to flow forward. And so I am like water. And I invite us all to be like water, knowing that in this boundless flow of life, there is no challenge or obstacle that can ever block my way, ever block our way. I know that spirit, in its infinite knowing, is able to fill any container that it is presented with. And it is able to transcend those containers and flow forth, bringing life, bringing wholeness, bringing love wherever it is, which is truly everywhere. And so I know that my life is aligned with that divine flow. And I invite that alignment for all of us here today. And so witnessing this flow and feeling my presence and part with it fills me with gratitude. And so I allow that gratitude to usher this word into that divine law of mind, that divine creative flow that has already said yes to all that I have spoken. And so there's nothing more for me to say. I simply let it go. I let it be. And I invite us all to seal this word together by saying, "And so it is." I invite us all to take a nice deep breath, breathing in, let out a big sigh. We use our breath as another moment of flow to help us to transition to our practice of spiritual circulation here at the center. And spiritual circulation is another way that we describe that flow of life: giving, receiving, asking, forgiving, the practice of gratitude. So today, if you'd like to participate in the giving portion of spiritual circulation and help support this wonderful community, there are a number of ways that you can give financially. You can go on our website, cslsr.org/donate, and you can give online. We also have text to give that I use. It's very easy and convenient for me. And today we will pass the baskets. So I invite my ushers to stand. And I invite you all to hold your gift close to your heart and repeat after me. I bless my gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It enables great flow in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
Open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice. Spirit, guide my day. To live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my heart to the freedom of choice. Guide my day. Open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice.
Juneteenth is a holiday that commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. We're honoring Juneteenth this month at our upcoming Wednesday evening service at the center with a potluck. That's June 17th at 6 p.m. And you can come and enjoy sharing food and then stay for a message by practitioner Lawrence Edwards at 7 p.m. And his topic is, what do I do with the mad that I feel? So you can sign up at the info table on the sheet there to let us know what you're bringing to the potluck. It's going to be a lovely event. Now, if you connect with spirit in nature, then you're likely going to enjoy our monthly spirit walks. The next is June 20th at 9 a.m. at Sugarloaf Ridge State Park. So the walkers will meet Reverend Russ at the park, and directions are on our website. It's worth noting that this particular spirit walk, dogs are not allowed, and there is a $10 parking fee. Well, that is unless you have a state park pass, then parking is free. Now, Reverend Russ has also been diligently working on our next education catalog. It's coming up in a week or two. We'll release it and print it, but I wanted to give you a preview of some of the things in that catalog. There's a class about the aging journey, and there's another about a new take on mysticism. And there is a wonderful workshop on conscious recovery and how that relates to science of mind. Now, if any of these piqued your interest, there are articles on our website, early previews, so you can get more information. You can actually even sign up early. And if you prefer to wait for the catalog, that will be coming out soon. You're also invited to join photographer Michael Troncali. Now, he's the photographer whose art is on display in the social hall. Today, you can come back at 12:30, and he's going to answer questions and discuss his exhibit and talk about his artistic process. So if that's interesting to you, you can do that today. Another thing that you can do today is support our teens. There's a delicious bake sale with wonderful bread from Wildflower Bakery as well. I don't think that's going to last long. Also, for plant lovers, a heads up, our teens will be having a plant sale on June 28th. So there's a lot of ways you can support them. This is all going towards their going to camp. And of course, if you want to sponsor a whole teen to go to camp, you can just email youth@CSLSR.org, and Jennifer will tell you all about how that is possible. And of course, she can also tell you about our CSL Sluggers. That's our team. They're back playing softball, and you can support them by going to one of the games. We have a whole schedule of their games that's out at the info desk. Now, that's all for in our community. But before I wish you a great week, we have a wonderful video to share with you from our nonprofit partner for this month, Northern California Public Media. You may be familiar with their call letters, KRCB, on Channel 22. NorCal Public Media's mission is to be a trusted, independent, and essential voice that heightens awareness of the diversity of the human experience. They report on issues of importance, and they convene public discussions to strengthen the community. And their values, listen to this, include respect, inclusivity, and building a supportive and vibrant community, to name a few. Values that very much are in alignment with our Center for Spiritual Living values. Now, today, visiting with us is Darren Lischel, that's the president and CEO, and also Deanna Darberton, the director of development. So after the service, you're welcome to go visit them and talk to them about their program. But here is a video to learn more about them, and enjoy it, and I'll see you again soon.
In this program, we speak with 3 people who, each in their own way, are working to save local news and its vital role in society through their commitment to journalism.
You're listening to KRCB 104.9, Sonoma County's NPR station.
So we are here at the Charles M. Schulz Museum, this beautiful little theater here. Tell me about your relationship with this museum.
This is my home away from home. I, at about 4 years old, encountered Snoopy for the first time and just fell in love. And I knew from age 4, because of Peanuts, I'm going to be a cartoonist someday.
You're tuned to Sonoma County's NPR station, KRCB-FM Roanoke Park and KRCG-FM Windsor. It's time for Meisner and Smith on KRCB.
There's a lot of amazing progress happening in the world of regenerative agriculture, including absorbing carbon from the atmosphere and recharging water resources.
Time is now 1804. And just to describe the scene, they're very close by are a harem of female elk.
Tourists come here every day. They see the cable cars. They're looking at the bridge from maybe the Embarcadero, and they're seeing one side. From the other side, You have a whole different population of people looking at that same view, but their conditions that they're living in are inequitable.
When I moved up to Sonoma County and starting to see and connecting to our local food system has been extremely powerful to me.
Se le acabó la gasolina. All that noise woke up a sleepy-eyed animal en lo alto de un árbol.
Is mommy trying to lure me out of my hiding place? Busted, mommy laughed.
The Academy is a 3-week program for all high schoolers, incoming freshmen to incoming seniors, to learn more about what the problems are with our climate and how we as youth can use our voices to affect the outcomes and change the world.
It is time to bring our service to a close, but before we do, if you are having a challenging time, if you cried yourself to sleep last night, or if you would just like to affirm and acknowledge the good that is happening in your life, please take advantage of our after-service prayer offering. If you're watching online, there's a link you can follow to go to a free Zoom confidential prayer with one of our licensed prayer practitioners. And if you're here in the room, you can head on back and talk to Karen over at the white table in the corner. She will direct you, and you can receive a spiritual mind treatment about whatever your heart desires. So please take advantage of that. All right. Let us all stand as we're able and repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Please know with me that you are never alone. That spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Thank you for being here. Let's close in song.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife with my